Hello and welcome to the Inquisitive Crafter. I'm Katrina Stewart from Crafty Jacks, and today I'm giving you an update on our special ask. So if you haven't seen that video, about 6 weeks ago I put out a call out to save our Tough and Tender yarn. So essentially my Tough and Tender yarn, which is a fingering weight blend of 90% superwash targhee, 10% nylon, has been really difficult for me to source for the last year and a half or so. There's been problems with the mill that I sourced it from, and they haven't had it available, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And so I decided to do something about it and find a different option. And that option requires me to get 500 kilograms of targhee superwashed, which is a lot of fiber and therefore very expensive. So what I'm trying to raise is $60,000 in order to be able to do that, as that is the quote that I've received from my supplier. So it's 60,000 Canadian that I'm trying to raise, as I'm located in Canada, and that is what I am trying to do right now. We have raised about $15,000 so far, so we're about a quarter of the way there, which is really exciting, but we're up against crunch time. If we don't get this ordered by the end of August-ish, I'm not going to have yarn and fiber available to meet my deadlines. So all of the subscriptions that I've put up on my website for this special ask have a delivery start time of January 2027. And this was to give me lead time in order to fundraise the money, as well as give the mill time to make the yarn and get it to me. And so it's very much we're getting to crunch time now, and so I thought I'd come on and make a video and talk about a few things, go through the different subscription options for you a little bit more clearly, so that hopefully it will entice you to help support me. So the first thing that I want to clarify is, why am I doing this? Why not just discontinue the yarn and just let it go? The biggest reason for that is, as a fiber artist myself, I absolutely love having access to different types of fiber and different types of yarn to play with. And I think there's something really beautiful about that access to different fibers that gives us as fiber artists something really unique. And so each fiber, each blend of fiber that is out there offers something slightly different and slightly special. The properties of the fleece show up differently. So one may have more drape and one may be a little bit bouncier. And all of those things play into how garments drape on us, how they fit, how they react. And I think as fiber artists, having the opportunity to explore things outside of what was normally available when I started my business 10 years ago was really important to me, and that remains something that I'm really committed to. And so losing a base like this that I spent a lot of time and thought researching before I started offering it, it was important for me to find a way to continue it and to keep it going. And so that is what I'm trying to do. Now, a couple of the other questions that I've received that I want to address. Why not do it on Kickstarter? The biggest reason that I chose to host this fundraiser on my website as opposed to hosting it through Kickstarter was the fees. So if you don't know, as a small business, we pay a processing fee for our credit cards. And so that is a small percentage of the total amount that gets taken off of the total and goes to the credit card companies. The same is true for Kickstarter. So we pay the credit card processing fees through them, as well as an additional fee for hosting on their website. So for me, that fee is 5%. And that would have meant that on $60,000, if we'd reached that target, I would have had to pay an additional $3,000 to Kickstarter just for them having hosted it. And to me, that seemed a little bit silly, given that I already have a website, I already have the means to host something like this, and so that is why I chose this option. Now, has it been easy? No. We still have a long way to go. We're only at about 25% of the way there, with just over $15,000 raised. But I am fully committed to this. And so one of the things that people said is that security of knowing that if it doesn't reach its funding, that they aren't out the money. I have been in business for 10 years. I feel like I'm putting my reputation on the line, and I 100% guarantee that I will either refund your money or I will deliver the product on time. And so I've given myself enough lead time to get the yarn made and get it dyed and have something to ship in the beginning of January. And if there are delays for some reason, I will be responsive to you. I am committed to this, and I feel like my reputation is on the line, and so I just wanted to share that side of it. The other question that I've been asked a lot is about shipping to the US. As you know, I'm in Canada, and there's been some issues with shipping lately to the US, and I wanted to assure you that I have recently opened it back up again, so my shipping is open to the US again, and the tariffs and duties and taxes are included. So you don't have any additional fees that you need to worry about when the package crosses the border. Shipping fees may seem a little bit higher, but I always refund the overages. And so there's always a refund. If you want an exact estimate, please send me an email and I will be happy to provide you with an estimate for that so that you know exactly what you're going to be paying. Please note that I have always only ever charged what I am charged for shipping. So the shipping costs are not things that I have control over, and it is something that I pass on any savings that I get to my clients. So even if it's only a couple of dollars, I will refund that overage. So that sort of covers the questions. Now I wanted to take a few minutes to go through each of the different subscription options and sort of give you an idea of what you can choose from. So first up is our sock subscription, and the way that we've done this is that we have done it as a pair. So every subscription, for every month, you're going to get a full skein, a 4-ounce skein, as well as a 1.25-ounce skein of yarn. So that's about 115 grams and 35 grams. They are going to be coordinating, and the main color is going to be exclusive to the subscription for a year. And so a January 2027 colorway is not going to be available until 2028, and I'm not guaranteeing that any of these colors are going to be added to my regular lineup. So there's 12 colors that will be new. The semi-solid petite is going to be one that is from my regular rotation, or something new that I come up with that's going to be added to my regular rotation right away. This just saved me from having to create 2 full new colorways every month, and so it's going to be a combination of something that is regular as well as something that is unique to the subscription. And like I said, there's no guarantee that all of the colors that I make for the subscription will be ones that I add. There will definitely be ones that don't make the cut. So subscription options are 1 month, 4 months, 6 months, or a year. So the 1 month obviously will ship in January of 2027. The 4 months will ship in January, April, July, and October, so they will ship quarterly. 6 months will ship for the first 6 months of the year, so you'll get 1 subscription from January till June. And then obviously the year-long subscription, you will get a package every month to your door. So that is the option there. So the first option is on our Tough and Tender base, which is the one that we're fundraising for, which is the one that I'm trying to save. So that's part of it, is also pre-selling a bunch of that yarn that I am making so that I'm not stuck with 1,100 pounds of yarn in my house forever. So number 1. Number 2, I am doing the same thing on our heartfelt base. So our heartfelt base is custom spun for us. It is 75% BFL, 25% kid mohair, so it is a non-nylon, non-superwash sock yarn. It is as close to giving you my hand spun as I possibly could get. So when I had this yarn created, I sent a sample of my hand spun to my mill because I've been testing different blends to create this yarn because I couldn't find a commercially available non-superwash sock yarn. And so I wanted to create it myself. And so I did a bunch of testing with spinning and stuff like that, and that's how Heartfelt came to be. I sent a sample of my hand spun, they matched all the specs, and that's this. So it will be the same colors as what's going out on Tough and Tender, it'll just be on our Heartfelt base instead. So you have the option of those two bases to choose from for sock subscriptions. After a lot of requests, I am now making some of the fiber available. So the process that this will go through is the fiber will go through a superwash process, and then it needs to be milled and added, and nylon added to it in order to get the superwash targhee nylon blend for being spun into socks. And what the socks or what the fiber subscription will be is a single braid of an exclusive colorway. So the colorway will be similar to what I've put on the yarn, but it'll be put onto fiber instead, and you will get a full braid. So for me, a single braid of this will be enough to spin for socks. You have to spin extremely fine, but it definitely, a 4-ounce braid will get me there. If you're not a super fine spinner and you know that you'll end up with slightly thicker socks weight, then you might want to do 2 months. So it is also available in the 1 month, 4 month, 6 month, or 12-month subscriptions. And so you'll get a single braid for your subscription, and it will be a colorway that is exclusive again to the subscription for at least a year. And like I said, it might not make it past the subscription, so it might just stay exclusive to the subscription entirely forever. Next up is dye days. So I have put together 2 different types of dye days out there. So this is something that you would need to be local to me in the Lower Mainland. I'm just outside of Vancouver in Pitt Meadows, BC. And what I'm offering is for you and a friend to come and spend the day dyeing with me. So you will create your own exclusive colorway. You can choose from a fiber day or a yarn day. On the yarn day, you will choose, you and your friend will each get 8 skeins of your colorway. You will create your own colorway. That colorway will remain exclusive to you. We'll spend the day together. I'll supply lunch. We'll have lots of fun. There's a consultation online beforehand to make sure that I've got everything prepared. You get to choose whichever of my bases you'd like for your yarn. And then you leave with 8 skeins of yarn. So that, or 8 skeins for each of you, so a total of 16 skeins of yarn. So that is the yarn dye day. For the fiber dye day, again, it's for you and a friend. You'll each dye 3 braids of fiber. It'll be a shorter day, so it'll be a half day as opposed to a full day. There will still be yummy treats and things like that I'll be sharing, and we get to spend lots of time hanging out together. You can bring your wheel and we can spin while things set. So those are the dye day options. I've also put together a Zoom option. So if you want to spend some one-on-one time with me, we'll get together on Zoom. We'll go through and focus on whatever you want to talk about. Any questions that you have, whether it is about yarn or knitting or spinning or anything. If you want me to watch you spin so that I can make some corrections for you, all of those things are on the table. Basically, you get an hour of my time for however you want to spend that time. The other options that I've put together are a mystery silk scarf. And so this is going to be done with our Divine Lace base, which is a tussa silk. This is a sample of what it looks like woven up. It's very simple, very elegant. The colors and everything like that will remain a mystery. If there is a color that you absolutely cannot wear, then you simply let me know that in the comments. There's only a few subscriptions available, and it'll just be a one-off, so you'll only be able to get 1 scarf. And then the last is a mystery tea towel. So this one I sort of thought would be kind of fun to add because I personally love weaving tea towels. And so this is a sample of one of my tea towels. As you can see, I like to play with color. This was inspired by a road trip that I did to Tofino a couple years ago, so this is very West Coasty vibes. And essentially my tea towels are made from 100% cotton. They are fully pre-washed and shrunk, and they are woven with a lot of love. And you have the option of a 1-month subscription or a 4-month subscription, which would go out quarterly as well. And then finally, I added a donation option. So if you just want to give like $5 to the cause, that is, every single penny helps at this point. So that is the update. That is where we're at. That is what we're doing. If you have questions, I am always open to answering them, but there we go. That's what I'm asking for. We do need to try and get this ordered by the end of August, so if you've been thinking about it and humming and hawing and you're sort of sitting on the fence, I would love it if you would jump in and join us and help now, because we're at the limit. Thanks so much. I hope you have a wonderful day, and as always, thank you for being here. Bye for now.